Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Football Show. I'm Tom Webster, and this is game week 13. It's unlucky for some, but I'm delighted to be joined by Scott again. Thanks for joining us. Um, right, where else to start but the head to head? And once again, I'm back to form, and it's 8-4. Although, looking at it, I wasn't actually as bad as I thought I was. You managed to score 90 and
Mm.
you were only 103, so only 13 points in front. And
Yeah,
you
I
use your
mean,
max captainship. So I've still got that to, to use at some point.
mm,
Um, Woeful pick on Ipswich from you, and
yeah,
a
I mean,
woeful pick from me of Conor McCarthy at the back.
yeah, I mean, I switched very, very late on. Um, I were on Middlesbrough up until um with team, because there were not much between them. But I was thinking about Wednesday fixture originally for Middlesbrough, uh, and then I just didn't end up going with it. And again, it shows I'll be
Oh,
getting back
our
into
internet.
form. Uh, I thought Ipswich were going to get back into form, but yeah, shocker, and especially solo with Max captain. I mean, uh, not a good week for me, especially with that booster on. So yeah, I mean, can't wait for next one.
Yeah, hopefully I'm going with a haircut for that Manu guy that says he's not cutting his hair until it gets five in a row. I'm not cutting mine until I'll beat you twice in a row. So
Yeah,
uh, be all season. To be fair, I've been rubbish. Right, so anyway, on to the awards and Starman this week. There's actually two. Um, It's Harry Anderson of Colchester and Paddy Madden of Accrington, both scoring 29. And I couldn't pick one between them because 29 is an absolutely massive score, especially seeing as though both of them were just a single game week rather than a double. Um, the pants pick is Jack Robinson of Birmingham, scoring an own goal and a red card, and he got your -5 this week, which is horrendous. The top team this week, I've gone for Charlton Athletic on 18 points. Beat Wednesday 2-1 and they beat Ipswich away 3-0. Um, Banter team, I've gone Ipswich Town, losing 3-0,
okay.
like I just said against Charlton, and 2-1 against Middlesbrough. So yeah, Banter
Lovely.
team there. Um, People's champion is Tykes FC. He got 157 points, which is
Wow.
a huge score this week. And the participation award is Tykesville, and they got 33. Uh, Now on to the league table so far, and Special Brew, who's been out in front by miles, he's still there, but only just. He's on 930. And
Yeah,
Tykes FC is on 928, just 2 points in it now. Um,
yeah,
that tastes like promotion. 914 down in third. You are in fourth, dropped a place, just shy of the 900
yeah,
mark on 897.
yeah,
Bojan Swan is on 877. And I can see clearly now the rain has gone. He's on 873. Now, moving on to the ultimate team, and I actually caught out the Fantasy EFL because they do a very similar thing, but they got it wrong and missed
oh
out.
yeah. Asante.
Thomas Asante up
Yeah.
front. Anyway, the it's a 2-2-2 formation would be the best that you could have done, with
Mm.
Sol Bryn of Middlesbrough, 18 points in the net. Defensive two of Macaulay Gillespie of Charlton on 23 points, and Tristan Kramer of Millwall on 21 points. Um, Harry Anderson, one of the top picks. Um, of Colchester on 29 in midfield, with Sonny Carey of Charlton on 24 points. You could also add Scott Twine of Bristol City, who also had 24. Your forward two of Thomas Asante of Coventry on 26, and Paddy Madden Accrington on 29. Um, your two team picks there are Charlton and Millwall, 18, both respectively. You could also do that Coventry, but they seem to be
Hmm.
team picked every week. So I've
Yeah,
left them out.
sure.
And the maximum you could have had is 235, which is absolutely massive. Now for my team reveal. I'm slightly behind this week because Scott's got a life and my kids play football, so we couldn't record on Thursday. And obviously, a game's already played, and actually, one's playing right as we speak right now. Um, so I actually have Liam Roberts of Mansfield in the net. Um, I feel Mansfield have sort of turned a corner. I know that they're sort of mid-table, but they've been playing well recently, and
Yeah,
coming up against a Wigan side and a Plymouth side because it's a double game week for them.
yeah,
I'm not really impressed with either.
yeah. I think I'd agree with you. I mean, Wigan, they came out all guns blazing at the start of the season, scoring quite a few goals. Um, I think they've regressed from that. I don't know whether that's changing system. They've gone back to basics, more defensive shape. But that only benefits the case for a Mansfield defender. And Plymouth, obviously, uh, for anyone who watched that game last night, Thursday, uh, they're abysmal. They couldn't score against Exeter. I know, obviously it's Derby. That obviously, you know what I mean. There's a bit of edginess in game, but Exeter are arguably worst side in the league for me, and the Plymouth have shown recently, last couple of weeks, that they're not improving really. I mean, it's a worry for me. So I think uh, you could obviously go with Oshilaja as well, but I think Blake Tracy's minutes are more locked because I believe Oshilaja's just come back from injury. So obviously in a double game week, you might not want to risk it, and we know what Clough's like with rotating players, etc. So I like that one. As for Bradley, again, I will say same sort of thing. Even though I've backed Plymouth defender, I'll not go over that because that were a really poor decision for me. But I will say, or well, at least I think, anyways, that Leighton Orient and Bradford, especially the latter Bradford, very, 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 very good at home. But Bradley's bonuses should be good. Uh, Regardless of that, you're just not going to get much chance. As for other options that I like in defence, potentially Joe Wright of Bradford, playing as that central centre half in a three. I think he's recently just come back from injury, so a lot of people won't pick him because of that because they haven't seen his points. But his clearance numbers in games he has played, his bonuses have been very, very good. I think Stevenage and Lincoln's the two best fixtures that you could get. Uh, that might sound surprising considering where Stevenage are at table. But if you look at their underlying numbers, they create next to nothing. Although Bradford are quite leaky themselves, I do like that, and I think Lincoln generally don't create too much away from home. At least they do create a decent amount at home, but away from home, they don't seem to create much. So Joe Wright is someone who I like. Nathan Smith as well for Tranmere. Gets plenty of clearances. I think he's got 122 clearances, which is probably most out of a lot, maybe apart from Fitzwater, is it? I think he's got very, very good fixtures. Chesterfield, a team that I thought would be, well and truly in front with MK Dons. We've seen that League Two's been quite a very tight league. Chesterfield have struggled away from home. I think they've conceded 14, albeit six of those were against Colchester in one game. So I think that obviously you've got to take that into account. But um, yeah, I think Tranmere and Nathan Smith in particular are decent options there.
Right. So my midfield, obviously, Boateng, and he
Yeah,
played last night and
yeah,
was dreadful, in all honesty.
that's
Uh,
unfortunate.
Yeah. I picked him because
Shocking.
he's got quite a high ceiling, but obviously quite a low floor as well. But yeah, did
Yeah,
absolutely nothing. I've gone Tarovic as well. I've actually captained him for
yeah,
Bradford. So like you said, I actually do think they could concede. So I'm not going to go
yeah,
defensive with Bradford.
yeah.
But
That's fair.
I think they're good for
That's
goals.
definitely fair.
And I've also gone for
Absolutely.
Stephen Duke McKenna. Um,
Yeah,
his numbers have been pretty good.
yeah.
In not a great side, in all honesty.
Oregon, yeah.
Um, yeah, they're not a massively they're not top at league basically. And they're up against a Newport side that's well awful
No,
basically.
definitely not. No.
The
Low,
nail
small
the nail
budget.
to bottom
Yeah,
to league. So that's
absolutely.
my midfield.
Yeah, I'll not talk about Boateng, so obviously that's happened. I will say I did expect Plymouth generally to perform so much better than they did. I was really banking on them to get a win, and obviously they didn't.
I thought they'd be poor defensively, but I thought it were going to be
The
sort of
centre half.
yeah, I thought it were going to be sort of like a 2-2, 3-3. I thought it were going to be high scoring for both sides,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest with you. So that's
Some
why I
goals in
thought,
it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, sort of gearing it away,
Boateng
I
on
went for
Tolash.
Tolage up front
Yeah.
as well, and he was
Mm,
dreadful.
mm.
Um,
I think definitely. Yeah. I think I'll go practically no good midfield options. Like I've been doing a lot of research on this, and I can tell you there's next to nothing. Um, like some of the picks that I'm going to be going through here, you're going to be thinking, what the hell is he on about? They're terrible. But Sarcevic, obviously, we know he's like 33, 34, something like that. So initially, I will look at him and think, oh, he's a bit of a, his minutes might not be secure in that second game. But I think we're pointing at, we'll kind of rotate with him a bit more. I think he should have good minutes in both, and I think with the quality of the player, he's on penalties. You know what I mean? He gets so many goals for them. I think he's a very, very good option, not only just for picking him and obviously for captaincy like you've done. So I completely get that. I think he's one of the best captaincy options in that sense. As for another Bradford midfielder, Max Power in midfield, central
I laugh
defensive
every
midfield.
time with that.
Oh
All I can
no,
think of is Simpsons
what on earth?
episode. And he changes his name to
Yeah.
Max Power. It's like, where did you get that from? Oh, back of a hairdryer.
Oh no, definitely an interesting name. But yeah, he's a decent option if you want in like interceptions, key passes, assists. I will say he's got next to no goal threat. But again, some of the options that I will be talking about here are very much scraping barrel. Yeah, he could be someone you could look at. Uh, Charlie Whittaker for Tranmere. He had a loan spell at Notts County last season. Didn't do all that well, but it's more playing the fixtures. He's got Chesterfield at home, who struggled generally away from home defensively. Um, Tranmere have got in a bit of form attacking wise. I think they bet Bristol Rovers 4-1 away from home on weekend. I think he can be involved in that. His data is okay. I'm not going to say he's brilliant, but in a week where there's not many options, he could be a decent shout. But I do have a bit of a concern over his minutes, so I don't know if I'm going to go there as of yet. Uh, Coming back to your team, Duke McKenna, I think he's a fantastic pick. But if you're in a single game week, I feel like I've got like an unwritten rule where I just have to back the doubles, even though majority of them are terrible. It's just two fixtures. I can't get past that. But like I said, I'm surprised if he's one of them that just gets like a brace or an hat trick. He's one of them that just shoots from anywhere, and I think that he'll get a lot of space and a lot of chances against a very, very poor Newport side to completely get that. And that's for Tolaj, obviously, as well. So, what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's performed badly. It is a double game week, so I have to say on that one. But yeah, I think Plymouth generally, I expected them to improve, but obviously not. So, not good on that one. Uh, I'll briefly just mention a couple forward picks I like this week as well. Omari Patrick for Tranmere. Now he's a bit of a weird one because he plays at left wing back. so he's kind of like reversed out of position. So it's not something that you'd be looking at and thinking, yeah, I'd want that. But amount of shots off that he gets, his general just creativity, just key passes, assists, are very, very good in that Tranmere side. He seems to be their talisman this season very much. So he could be one to look at. And for Mansfield, Will Evans. Now he's again, I think a lot of Mansfield fans, when I was watching this, will be thinking, "What are you on about?" Um, but he gets a lot of supply. I think a lot, a lot more. I think he had one ruled out on weekend against Luton for offside, and he missed the sitter. So I'm just thinking he's getting that supply. It's only a matter of time before he gets that goal or goes on a run. Trying to think outside the box a bit. He could be a decent option. Uh, so it does put me off a lighter striker more centrally like Tolaj, but I think they're decent options as well if you want in forward picks.
Right. So that is the team. For my team picks, I've gone Tranmere, which we've already mentioned a few times, and I've gone Mansfield.
Yeah.
Um, I really do fancy
You
Mansfield
know what?
to
Yeah.
beat both.
Do you know what? I was a bit unsure on Mansfield before that weekend, but watching Plymouth, I completely get it now. They're both Wigan and Plymouth are both poor. I think Wigan have tightened up a bit defensively, but they don't create that much. I think you'd fancy Mansfield in that sense. Again, we know Mansfield aren't the greatest. No one else has got two home fixtures, so there's something that you've got to look at there for sure. So I like that a lot. And Tranmere, I agree. Tranmere, I feel like they can go in a bit of form for these fixtures. Chesterfield at home. Again, we thought Chesterfield were going to be a side that had maybe not run away with league, but come second, third, you know what I mean, close to MK Dons. I mean, it still could happen, don't get me wrong, it's still early days, but defensively, they're absolutely woeful. I mean, that partnership, Shea Dunkley and McFadden, they've got no pace at all. So any ball in behind and the centre half's completely cooked. So, yeah, I really like Tranmere and Akron. Maybe second to Newport, sorry, but one of the worst sides in the league. So, yeah, I think I agree with them team picks. I think they're both very, very solid options this week.
Feel like every week you tell me that my picks are really good and they're really solid, and then I have an absolute stinker. I'm sure you're gaslighting me.
Oh no, I mean I've had about 3 or 4 game weeks where I've just been having like red arrows. So I think it must be me. I mean I'm not seeing things right at the minute, but I mean it's a long old
Right.
fingers crossed.
Well,
Anyways,
right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. At least my set didn't fall down this week, and so that's one bonus. But thank you
lovely.
very much for joining us. Like, subscribe if you like our content, and we will see you next week.